Last time I put up that chart, I never really got to look at it. But without that chart, I would not be here today. Never got to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face.
Yes, the tide is turning. Mark Zuckerberg praised Trump, saying Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if you've seen this.
I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, I mean, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. I mean, the historic events over over the weekend. And I mean, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, I mean, it's, and I think, look, it's, at some level as an American, it's like hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
Yes, what is lacking from what Mark Zuckerberg said here is just the fact that he cannot endorse any of the candidate. Now going to this clip, there is something Tucker said on this video that triggered a lot of people, which I'm going to show you. If you love what I'm doing here and you want to support the channel, please subscribe, share the video, and always thumb up when you see my clip.
I watched the video of what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania about 50 times. I think I was one of about 8 billion people around the world who watched it. And the more I watched it, the more it struck me that everything was different after that moment. Everything. And this convention is different. The nation is different. The world is different. Donald Trump is different. When he stood up after being shot in the face, bloodied, and put his hand up, I thought at that moment, that was a transformation. This was no longer a man. Well, I think it was divine intervention. But the effect that it had on Donald Trump, he was no longer just a political party's nominee or a former president or a future president. This was the leader of a nation. And I think there's a difference. I've spent most of my life in Washington where the president is at the top of the pyramid, everyone wants to be the president. But if you think about it, the presidency comes with great power, obviously. But if you think about it, that is a title that is bestowed by a process of some sort that can be subverted. And in the end, it does not confer by itself, as no title does, legitimacy. Just because you call yourself the president doesn't mean that much inherently. I can call my dog the CEO of Hewlett-Packard. It doesn't mean she is. It's true. And you hate to say it, but it is also true, as a fact, that you could take, a mannequin, a dead person, and make him president. No, you could. You could. I'm just saying theoretically possible. With enough cheating, that could happen. But being a leader is very different. It's not a title. It's organic. You can't name someone a leader. A leader is the bravest man. That's who the leader is. That is true in all human organizations. This is a law of nature. And in that moment, Donald Trump, months before the presidential election, became the leader of this nation. That was the most obvious to me. And I have to say,
Yes, before we go into this clip on Mark Zuckerberg, something is going on social media. According to this tweet, Trump shows the same chart at the RNC that saved his life when he tilted his head to look at it during the PA rally. Last time I put that chart, I never really got to look at it, but without that chart, I would not be here today. And he said, like, God intervene into this. The View is not happy with this. They did a segment today. What they said concerning this is disturbing. According to this article, self-proclaimed Christian girl Joy Behar fumes that Trump suggested that God was watching out for him when a bullet traveling 3,000 feet missed his skull by a quarter inch. These women are evil. I'm speaking to fellow Christians. I was raised Catholic. I'm a Christian girl. How can a Christian be talking this way?
I want to point out one thing. I'm speaking to fellow Christians. I was raised Catholic. I'm a Christian girl. When something like this happens to you, like this assassination attempt, and you say something like God was watching me, that is a very unchristian thing to say because it's very narcissistic. What about Corey? What's his name? Torre, the fireman who also got killed.
I don't know. I think some Christians.
What about all those guys who got killed on Sandy Hook? All of those people. Yeah. It's like, oh, God was watching me and not watching them. There's something very disturbing about
God should have pulled the plug on that mic yesterday.
Wait, God is the technician now?
Yes.
He'll be right back.
You needed one.
When I watch The View, sometimes it is just to pick out moments like these. They are crazy. How can you even think of this? What do they expect Trump to say? Any person, if you are in a group with 10 persons, if something happened, the first thing that will run through your brain, oh, thank God he saved my life. That is what you will say. There is nothing again that you can say. Okay, out of 10 persons, 2 people are gone. You will not say, oh, God saved us. Every person will talk about himself. Like, even going into any gathering, people have different faith. Like the man who died, from the stories I've read, he died protecting his family. Maybe the bullet could pick up this child or things like that. In this case, you don't even need to go into justification. Trump was hurt and God saved him. There is nothing absolutely wrong with that.
Going into the debate, I'm pretty sure a lot of people knew that the president is old. The president is very old. Donald Trump is also very old and a racist and a neo-Nazi. But anyways, I'm not even going to talk about Trump right now.
The grade you gave it?
I gave it an A.
And why'd you give it an A?
The thing I was looking for was a change. And I felt I heard that change in his voice. I was looking for his discussion on getting unity together in the country, as well as the border control and inflation.
Thomas was...
I want you to listen to a little bit of what...
Here's where I thought it was lacking. He said the political rhetoric's gotten too hot.
And finally, new rules...
If you look at the moment that you heard that
Assassination, just to be clear.